required to practice is not limited to any certain formal training. So consultants, people everywhere, when they see a sector and it looks promising and it looks like maybe there is some money there or some fortune there, they delve into it, especially because there aren't too many regulations preventing them from getting in. So they can delve in.
Would you now say the advertising, creative advertising business is endangered, looking at incursion of core management consultants?
I wouldn't say endangered. I would just say it's getting more competitive. Because if you say endangered, look, marketing communications will stay. What endangers marketing communication and the traditional advertising as we know it is technology. A situation where before, by definition, when they say mass communication, for instance, they're talking of beaming stuff to people, maybe with no feedback. Simultaneously, they are receiving it in different places. The way convergence in technology is going, you can receive it on your device. You can, even if it's live, you can receive it anytime on your own terms, at home, everywhere, and people can give feedback immediately. So the incursion of these management people into advertising is not really endangering it. It just throwing up more challenges because the profession is here to stay. It's not going to go away.
Okay, and then what would you also say is the biggest attraction for these consultants as well?
The biggest attraction is that sometimes the budget could be very, very attractive. For instance, if you go into an election year where maybe in time past, politics, they used to spend a lot of money for one candidate or the other, or branding one state or the other. That's it could command a lot of money. And sometimes the government, they are some of the biggest advertisers. They command a lot of budget. And anytime you find a lot of budget, you find a lot of people delving into it, even if they are not necessarily qualified or competent to go there.
You talk of competitiveness. Sometimes we've seen aggressive strategies here and there. To what extent do you expect these to be played down, all of this aggression?
By distinguishing themselves, by being very professional, because then you can separate the boys from the men, you separate the chaff from the wheat. When you have certain standards that you adhere to, and if you have the big players agreeing as to the rules of engagement and adhering to it, such that if you are not ready to adhere to those rules, then you are out or you are found out. So they can get themselves more organized, they can speak with one voice, they can set standards that could be met by the core professionals.
Now, Paul, would you say the interest of these consultants was due to the shrinking business in the traditional territory?
You could say that as well, because when one door is closing, you look for other doors that are open. And because there is more like free entry and exit, it's like a free market. Free entry and exit into the marketing, communication, advertising profession. It looks like it's a low-hanging fruit that you can just, go in there and take.
How would you also describe the current delays we've seen in payment, talking about experience by media owners and vendors alike?
I do not think it's necessarily different from the normal client-supplier relationship. For instance, an organization like this, we have suppliers, people who supply equipment, who supply groceries, who supply all that. There are rules that people keep to, and the 120 days does not have universal applicability. Some you actually pay immediately. If you want to put some adverts, for instance, on some newspapers, they don't even allow you the luxury of 120 days upfront payment. I think media houses, if they live up to their billing, if for instance they have high rating, I think they can dictate terms. But generally, I'll tell you something, advertising agencies do not necessarily delay payment. It's what client pays. Sometimes there's a change at the top from the client side. And the new king, who did not know Joseph, may come in and say, you know what, you need to explain these bills that you have wrapped up for me, and sometimes there's a delay, But generally, even Nigeria owes.
Is the new payment policy by some multinationals a deliberate attempt to elongate credit lines, would you say?
I do not know the real reason why they are doing that. But, everything is there to manage cash flow. Cash flow management is a big part of business. And for money to come in and for money to go out, there are certain rules. Maybe they need to check certain things. Maybe they need to verify. For instance, if you put adverts, for instance, on media, you want to also employ the media monitoring agencies, and they have a kind of period of time when they can verify what you put there. So the client might be waiting for such verification. So there may be other factors responsible, maybe not deliberately to stifle the media of funds.
Hello, food already. Have you not go chop today?
Today na my cheat day.
So what do you want?
Give me 2 wraps of pound.
Excuse me, madam. The client has just arrived and will be upstairs very soon.
All right, send him right up. Thank you. Hey, Mama, make I see that brocoto.
You know see. Correct brocoto and assorted meat.
That one.
Madam, stop me now. Customer novice, which one you want?
Amala, Ewegu, Pomo, and then brocoto.
No, customer don't buy.
Ebola Abenyo, spirit of human being.
Okay, no fire. Now my meat
Internet customer. Abeg, give me brocoto. When she come, you will give her another one.
Okay, no fire.
Don't miss out on life's little pleasures. Upgrade to the super fast and reliable MTN 4G network.
Let my meat go.
With that is a wrap on Marketing Edge for today. Join us next week for a fresh edition. Thank you for watching.